Dani Rodrik, Economics Rules, Why Economics Works, When It Fails, and How to Tell the Difference. Dive into Economics Rules, Why Economics Works, When It Fails, and How to Tell the Difference, for an insightful examination of the foundations and evolution of the economics discipline. The book takes you on a journey from ancient economic thought to philosophical roots and the influence of religion and ethics. It showcases how contemporary economics has moved towards mathematical approaches and simplified models, but argues that a return to its qualitative philosophical roots is necessary. The summary highlights the impact of moral choices on economic assumptions and the importance of understanding the balance between good and evil in economic decision-making.
The Dehumanization of Economics. The use of mathematics to simplify economics is a limiting and subjective practice that leaves out the ethical content of the field. Economists' inability to predict and explain events is due in part to their disconnection from reality caused by the reliance on simplified models. The mathematical emphasis of economics is a recent development, which alienates it from its historical roots as a qualitative discipline. The field has replaced philosophy, poetry, and other more subjective contributors to economic thought with mathematical models that hide the impact of selfless behavior and other ethical considerations. To reconcile with reality, economics needs to reduce its mathematical emphasis and return to its philosophical roots. The Epic of Gilgamesh, Humanity and Efficiency. The Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest known literary work, tells the story of Gilgamesh, a part human, part god ruler, and his attempt to build a wall around Uruk. The story highlights the contrast between nature and urban society, where goodness resides in the latter. Gilgamesh's friendship with Enkidu, a part human, part animal figure who opposes his ruthless actions, brings out their more humane side. However, Enkidu's death sends Gilgamesh back to his obsession with immortality, ultimately showing that humanity comes at the cost of efficiency or that it is simply a drag on work. The role of ethics in progress. The history of our understanding of natural phenomena has been shaped by myths and religious beliefs. However, the advancement of science and technology has led to better standards of living and social progress. The link between morality and material reward continues to influence our economic behavior. The recent global financial crisis has highlighted the need for ethical rules and enforcement. The Hebrew tradition, as outlined in the Torah, illustrates the importance of debt forgiveness and the observance of non-material pursuits. The Hebrew concept of linear time also helped shape practical progress by refusing to deify rulers or nature. The modern workweek and weekend also stem from this tradition. In summary, economic progress is intertwined with ethical considerations, and can benefit from the lessons of history and religious beliefs. Ancient Greek philosophers' influence on economics. The views of ancient Greek philosophers have withstood the test of time and continue to impact modern economic analysis. Pythagoras believed in the power of math and numbers, while Xenophon advocated for market-based principles such as division of labor and expanded trade. Plato's emphasis on reason and rationality over empirical observation still resonates today. Aristotle's approach, on the other hand, relied more on empirical discovery than abstractions. The philosophies of these thinkers have shaped the way economists approach economic analysis even today. Christianity's economic influence. Christianity and economics are intricately linked as evident from the economic context of a majority of Jesus Christ's parables and the use of economic terminology in the religion's central concepts like redemption and sin. Christianity's emphasis on protecting the weakest members of society is also discernible in the Old Testament. The coexistence of good and evil is accepted as a fact in Christianity, and it is believed that individual evil should not be prioritized over the common good. These principles form the basis of laissez-faire government and free market capitalism. However, unbridled commerce is not effective in curbing evil, and more regulation is necessary in such cases. From this summary, we can infer that Christianity has played a significant role in shaping economic thought and policy. The evolution of economics. Throughout history, humans have struggled with the concept of greed and excessive want. From Eden's original sin to Pandora's box and Thomas Malthus's predictions, the worry of humans wanting too much has persisted for centuries. Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations established the invisible hand theory, which describes the price-driven market mechanism that suggests liberal markets could cure any shortage for the right price. However, Smith also warned against egoism and believed that selfless benevolence propels social progress. Smith's analysis of the economy and society allowed for emotional decision-making rather than purely rational choice. While his friend, economist David Hume, also believed in the power of emotion, the late 1700s marked the end of ethically driven economics and launched a more scientific era where mathematics obscured economic models' assumptions behind reality. Today, although the real U.S. GDP per capita has risen by 37%, appreciating and being satisfied with this progress still remain challenging. The intersection of philosophy and economics. This book explores the interplay between philosophy and economics, from the scientific rationalism of René Descartes to the economic poetry of Bernard Mandeville. Descartes believed in reason over empirical observation as a means of discovering truth, while Mandeville saw individual vice as a source of social welfare. Although mathematical reasoning dominates modern economics, it is important to remember that moral values underlie economic assumptions. This book examines how various philosophical schools of thought have shaped economic thinking over time. The Fallacy of Economics. The science of economics is not a natural science, but it affects the economy. The use of mathematics in economics is essential, but it is not the universal truth. The incompleteness theorem by mathematician Kurt Gödel shows that there are inherent limitations to mathematical analysis. While economics is the most mathematical of the social sciences, mathematical models don't always capture the complexity of the human social behavior. Economic studies should expand to cover the social value of philanthropy, history, philosophy, anthropology, and sociology. The traditional assumption that each person's behavior is utilitarian does not capture the altruistic nature of human behavior. Finally, the myth-making in economics should stop, and a more comprehensive approach is required.
As you conclude your journey through economics rules, remember that over the years, economics has shifted from philosophical perspectives to a focus on mathematical models. However, these numerical approaches have caused the discipline to lose touch with the ethical and moral foundations that once lay at its core. Economics must re-embrace its qualitative past in order to make a meaningful impact on the future. By understanding the historical trajectory of economic thought, one can better appreciate the value of exploring the social implications of economic behavior, rather than simply relying on mathematical analysis. Reconnecting economics to its philosophical and ethical roots will make the discipline more robust and relevant in the complex, dynamic world we live in.